Hello and welcome to another episode of I Am Not Sure I Trust a Programmer with KSP Rp-1. So we're here for another night launch. I apologize, but the reason is we have communications with a satellite. So hopefully that will make things easier. So let's get this thing going. Okay, guidance is set. It should launch soon. And hopefully that's not too loud. Okay. So a lot of time has passed in game. I tried recording this episode before and I just got failures. The RD-103s, so the engines in the side boosters, kept failing. So yeah, it was just launching the same thing over and over. So it's now May 1962, really behind on science and everything. Jeb has retired because I haven't been doing any mad missions. Valentina has retired. And I think I fired the rest of the astronauts. So right now we have no astronauts. Also, I finally have the quad RCS port. So now I just need to work on the coding for actually guiding everything properly. I did put RCS ports in this thing in case it's close to the required orbit, but not quite. But if that happens, then I'll have to stop recording, go write that code, and then try it. By the way, this mission is again the attempt to put something in a sun-synchronous orbit. Quotation marks, sun-synchronous. It just has between 95 and 99 degrees inclination. Yeah, 95 and 99 degrees inclination. And above 300. Also, the eccentricity that at first I was worried about this because I misread it as 0.002 and 0.004, which is quite circular and quite a tight margin. But then now I notice no, it's actually, so if I have a 300 kilometer per G, then I think my margin of error for the apogee is between 500 and 900, something like that. Over 900, I think. So I'm aiming for 700 kilometer apogee, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. As long as, of course, the rocket works. I've also had a couple other technology unlocks, so so I got more solid rocket boosters, which I don't see myself using them anytime soon, and more probes. Unfortunately, none of them that can carry science, so the whole taking pictures and bringing them back in a probe is still not possible. And I did the same stupidity again. I checked to see if I had a connection to the satellite, but did not check to see if that satellite had a connection to anything else. So this thing better get into orbit. We're quite close to booster separation right now. In all cases before that the engine was failing, it was the booster engines, so it makes me feel a little bit better about our chances with this launch. And of course, now that it has a connection, it has lost connection with our own probe. I should have waited maybe one more orbit, it would have been straight above us. The price of impatience. Okay, so we just had a MECO and stage separation. Now time to coast. This is a really weird orbit prediction. I don't know how. First of all, I don't know why it's not only taking a crashing here, but then what, it goes near the center and then whoop. I actually get the feeling that if it's not a line of sight problem, it's I don't have my antennas activated problem. I have it to activate the antennas as soon as it reaches orbit, but it would have been nice to get some signs right now. So even if it fails, I have something. I was concerned about the power. If I did not manage to get any connection, even with the antennas, and then the power running out before getting a connection, because I have it so that it won't decouple the second stage right away in case I need to do corrections. But this thing also, I don't think it uses a lot of power, so I really could have just kept them active. Okay, we should be lighting the second stage anytime soon now. And a good light. Yeah, for some reason this rocket likes to do this, that it suddenly starts to wiggle for no apparent reason, and then steadies itself again. I mean, the code right now is just point at the horizon in the set heading. There should be no reason for it to suddenly start wiggling. I'm also a bit concerned that I might not get to the 95 degrees, but I can fix that with the RCS. It's just a matter of doing it quickly enough that I can correct it before I run out of power, because I don't think this has enough solar panels to maintain the able avionics and then this one plus the communications. Wow, okay, so as far as the accuracy of the orbit, that was really good. I set it to 300 and 700. So I'm quite pleased with that. And yes, it's now activated. Now it's just a matter of getting something to connect with. And hoping we don't run out of power beforehand. So let's see. Yeah, I did miss the inclination mark, so that's going to be the next thing that I need to take care of. And we finally have some science. So the electric charge is depleting but slowly, so I think I'm going to first do an orbit, see how much science I can get, and then worry about fixing the inclination, which is going to take me quite a while in coding. So I'm going to stop recording here, and for you it's still going to be the same episode. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I've managed to get a nice program to take care of this. Actually, we are a bit tight on delta V, No, not oof, that was I almost dumped the hydrazine. That would have been tragic. Either way, I'm not entirely sure we have the right delta V. I think so. I think the calculation was 70 meters per second. I just don't remember how much it gave me for delta V with the hydrazine I have in this tank. But I have a good like autopilot working, so I'd like to try to use it either way. And let's see if we get the required inclination or not. So I've already set it up before it starts. If we lose connection, it should start the moment we go below 25 degrees north in latitude. And yeah. So it's been about a week since I first, there it goes, since I first recorded the first part of this episode. And well, part of me taking so long was I've been sick, so not really feeling like doing a lot of programming. However, I did do a lot of it in the inter, and well, I did say I was quite scared of trying to do this whole autopilot coding. However, did it take me so long because I was not doing the whole programming thing well? No. Was it because my brain wasn't working at 100% and I was struggling with the math? No. It was because I'm still learning like all the commands for KRPC. And one of the really important things that I needed was the rate of turn in each of the, in like a certain axis of the vessel, like its rate of change in roll, in yaw, and in pitch. And for the life of me, I could not find the bloody command. And I found one, well, there was one that was like rotation. And I thought, okay, maybe this one could be it. But it gave me like a tuple in 4 with 4 variables. So I wasn't exactly sure which was the fourth and which one was for each axis. So I moved on. Then I found one that was angular velocity. Like, okay, that sounds promising. Only 3 variables. Okay, that makes sense. So I started working with that one, and I stupidly assumed it was the right one. And I just could not get the bloody autopilot to work. And the math was turning out alright, so I was completely clueless. Until I decided to see, like, just, okay, forget about that. Let's just see what values this command is giving me. And yeah, it was the vessel's angular velocity in some reference frame, but not sure which one. I couldn't get the in any reference frame to give me the appropriate values. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's behaving according to plan. Until eventually what I had to do is, before starting this, I take like the current pitch, yaw, and roll reading, wait 1 second, and then take another one again, and I use that as my initial like rotation values, and then update them every second. And yeah, it's been working so far. So now, to make it a little bit simpler on myself, especially since these are maneuvers that I will have time to do, what this thing does is first it sets the roll to 0, so that like to change the heading I just have to deal with the yaw, and to change the pitch I just have to deal with well, pitch. So that's why at first it was just aligning itself to like 0 roll, and now it should be pointing at oh damn, yeah, that's bad. Still have connection? Yes, we can cancel this command, because I originally was going to do this to 74 instead of, yeah. Originally I was going to do this with a descending node, which is on the other side of the orbit. No, ascending node, sorry. Because the delta V calculation gave me a better delta V in that one, but then I realized I screwed up and it was inverted. So also that it means we already did an extra orbit. I already gathered a little bit more science, one more biome. So yeah, this should point to 274 degrees heading, 0 pitch, 0 roll. And then when it gets to 15 degrees north, it's going to start like firing the thrusters to advance forward. And it's going to continue that until 15 degrees south. And let's see if that's enough. I think it's supposed to be like 70 meters per second delta V, so I think that I should have it. Okay, there we go. So it started to burn forward, and our target is 95 degrees inclination here. So there have been two exciting pieces of news in the past couple of weeks, at least exciting for me. One, apparently one thing that they hadn't planned to do, but Electron, if you don't know it, Electron is a rocket launched from New Zealand by a company that was originally from New Zealand itself, but then was acquired by Rocket Lab in the US. And they have a very small orbital rocket for CubeSats and such to launch them into polar orbits called Electron. And originally they said they would not try to go for reusability, facing like what SpaceX is doing and everything. Because originally with their, like the Electron rocket was cheap enough to produce and efficient enough that it was cheaper than SpaceX as far as launching CubeSats. But now I think SpaceX, I think they just changed their business model, I'm not sure. But apparently they have lowered their price for CubeSats, so now Electron needs to stay competitive. And they announced they will go the reusability route as well. But instead of completely redesigning its rocket to be able to land, like SpaceX does, they decided instead that they're going to add a parachute to the booster and catch it in midair with a helicopter, which should be very interesting. Also, fortunately, I don't think it will be possible to recreate it in KSP because of the whole objects disappear when you're in atmospheric flight and they're too far away from you. But still, should be fun to see them attempt such a thing. The other piece of exciting news is that Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming out, apparently next year. And yeah, I'm excited, I have high hopes, though I must say I really hope they make like it comes with a realism overhaul mod soon after, because I can tell you, like, after playing with realism overhaul, there have been a few mods that I've wanted to try, like Kerbalism, that were originally not compatible with realism overhaul, and I just can't bring myself to playing stock KSP, well, like non-realistic KSP again. It's such an extra challenge to have to plan the burn that you can't relight the engine, you can't throttle the engine, all of that. It adds so much challenge for it that I don't think I would be able to go back to playing the normal way. But of course I'm going to buy it, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. So I was looking around like my remote tech stations, and I'm missing quite a few of them. Like, it's not only my launch site at Cape Canaveral, but I'm missing like 2 more in the US. Now the European Space Agency port has disappeared as well. The Kourou. I'm missing 2 in Antarctica. Yeah, I've never really been a fan of going like into forums. Okay, also apparently zooming helps, but still, like, struck. But yeah, maybe I should ask about this, because at this rate I'm going to like lose all of them, and then yeah, I won't be able to communicate no matter what. Okay, so that's the first burn darn. I set up to finish at 15 degrees south, and there's enough electric charge to go around again, because otherwise it would be too inefficient burning. But I have to say, it's not looking good. We did not even reach 94 degrees, and we're down to less than half our hydrazine. So yes, I'm still going to try, because also there's the hope that like the kick from the decoupler might send it that extra inclination change. And there's also the option of decoupling this one as well, even though then it means it will go dead after a while. But let's see. Okay, so script is running again to aim in the right direction. And this time it should start at 13 degrees north. And it should decouple before finishing. Well, like once it's at 13 degrees south, it will stop and then decouple. It's definitely not the most fuel efficient script, but it's still better than using the autopilot that comes with KRPC. That one's just firing thrusters, and it doesn't even really move that much. So, but yeah, there's definitely room for improvement in this one. Okay, burn number 2, and let's see where this gets us. And another problem, I put it to, before I put it to heading 274 because of the 4 degrees of inclination like after 90. And yeah, I noticed it was here while the marker was all the way over here, so I put it 280 and I think I went overboard. And now we're also burning a little bit retrograde. And if this burns below, should I stop it? Because if I go below 300 km per reps, it's all for naught. Yay, 94 degrees. One more to go. I mean, I still have connection. How long? Ah, yeah, connection will not be a problem. Yeah, let's do that. Should start right away, yes. And it should slowly move it back. Yeah, that's one thing I did not think about. If all thrusters are firing, is it also able to fire? But yeah. No, yeah, it is moving very slowly. Actually, it should. I put it so that it moves slowly. but that number is falling fast. Yep, this is why you check your frames of reference. I marked that because it was in, like, I was in the surface reference frame. Excellent, new biome. Unfortunately, I think that's not enough for another point. What would be enough would be if after this we get the poles, but we can't do that because there's no bloody stations. Yeah, we're about to reach 13 degrees. We're about to run out of hydrogen and we're not even close. I need to check my code for calculating like the delta V due to an inclination change, because I'm pretty sure I had more than 70 meters of meters per second of delta V. So yeah, I don't get it. I mean, also my code said that it was 70 at the descending node and 160 at the ascending node. But here we're at the... No, backwards. 70 at the ascending node, but here we're at the descending node. Like going from north to south. But this is where we're at the higher point. The other one, it's at 300 and something kilometers. And these things, it's better to do them the farther away you are from the orbiting body, because your total velocity is going to be less. And that's it for hydrogen. So at 13 degrees it's going to decouple, and it's not going to give us half a degree of inclination, I think. You know, so how long do I have to decide? Still a bit. So yeah, there's the chance of decoupling this, and it might get there. Oh, but I have... Screw it, let's just do it. Nope. Yeah, no, it was too wishy-washy. But actually, this still has this... Oh no, it's not activated. Yeah. So this actually still has solar panels, so it might stay alive. Right now it's... meh. I mean, right now it's showing a bit of a draw. But maybe if it starts to point better. Wow, what the hell is this? Okay. Savan is the one we just got, right? Yes. No, it doesn't look like it's probably still going to be a power draw. Let's see if deactivating this. Actually, deactivating the probe and 2 of the antennas might get us something. So I'll leave it here. Okay, so yeah, we failed by half a degree in this one. And actually, let's go back to Space Center. 160 days. Okay, so I can just launch another one. The thing is, I wanted to move on. Because the other thing I was thinking was I think I'm already building a big rocket to try was it this one? Yeah, 35 degrees. 850 by 4,500. So it's just a minimum, so I could use this inclination of 95 degrees, and it would just see, like, just make sure that the eccentricity is good enough. This one, But would it be on time? No, it would not. Okay, so I could try to rush build this. I also need to remember that I need to allow for rollout, which, given this, it might be also like 20 days. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure exactly how that is calculated. But yeah, I'll think about it. And if I build another Hemrod 2, I'll just launch it without filming it. I think we've seen enough of those launches. So either way, I think the next launch you'll see is going to be this one. It just depends whether I'm going to launch it into like just for that contract or like the communications satellite or for both of them. But that's going to be next time. This episode might be short with all the editing, I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.